In this presentation, we'll see advanced concept of relationship. Here we'll cover stereotypes applied to dependency, constraints applied to generalization, properties of association, and at the end we'll see about realization. Dependencies, generalization, associations, and realizations are the most important relational building blocks of the UML. A relationship is a connection among things. Graphically, a relationship is rendered as a path with different kinds of lines used to distinguish the different relationships. The UML provides a representation for a number of advanced properties as shown in this figure. If you observe here in this figure, there is a multiple inheritance, that is the class set of controller inherits the classes controller and embedded agent. Therefore, the relationship shown is the generalization relationship. Similarly, there is an association relationship between set of controller and power manager class. There is a dependency relationship between channel iterator and set of controller class, and the realization relationship between the set of controller and URL stream handler interface. Dependency relationship. Apply dependencies when you want to show one thing using another. Here are some stereotypes that you can apply to dependency relations among classes and objects in the class diagrams. The first one is the derive. Specifies that the source may be computed from the target. For example, a person class might have the attribute birth date, which is concrete, as well as the attribute age, which can be derived from birth date. So it is not separately manifested in the class. This relationship between age and birth date can be shown by using derived dependency showing age derived from birth date. Second stereotype is friend. This stereotype specifies that the source is given special visibility into the target. The next is instance of. This stereotype specifies that the source object is an instance of the target classifier. Then the next is instantiate. This stereotype specifies that the source creates instances of the target. Now, the generalization. A generalization is a relationship between a general thing called the superclass or parent and a more specific kind of thing called the subclass or child. This figure shows a set of classes drawn from a financial services application. As you see in this figure, bank account inherits the classes interest bearing atom, insurable atom, and the asset class. Similarly, real estate class inherits insurable atom class and asset class, and the checking account class inherits the class bank account, savings account inherits bank account, stock inherits security, and bond inherits security. In generalization, UML defines one stereotype called implementation. Implementation specifies that child inherits the implementation of parent but does not make public nor supports its interfaces. There are two constraints that can be generally applied to these relationships. The first one is the complete. This specifies that all children in the generalization have been specified in the model and that no additional children are permitted. The second constraint is incomplete. This constraint specifies that not all children in the generalization have been specified in the model and that additional children are permitted. Now, the association. An association is a structural relationship specifying that objects of one thing are connected to the objects of another. There are four basic adornments that apply to an association. These are a name, the role, the multiplicity, and aggregation. These adornments we have already studied in the previous presentation. For advanced uses, following properties can be used in association. The first one is the navigation property. Given a plain unadorned association between two classes such as book and library, it is possible to navigate from objects of one kind to objects of another kind. However, there are some circumstances in which you will want to limit navigation to just one direction. For example, given a user, you can find a corresponding passwords object. But given a password object, you don't want to be able to identify the corresponding user. This you can represent by the direction of the navigation as shown in this figure. Second is the visibility. There are circumstances in which you will want to limit the visibility across that association relative to objects outside the association. Unless otherwise noted, the visibility of a role is public. Private visibility indicates that objects at that end are not accessible to any objects outside the association. Protected visibility indicates that objects at that end are not accessible to any objects outside the association except for the children of the other end. Here in this figure, the association is shown between user group and user. Similarly, there is association between user and password class, whereas the visibility shown here at the end of user is a public, whereas at the end of password it is private. Next is the qualification property. Given an object at one end of an association, the problem is to identify an object or a set of objects at the other end. In the UML, this is done by using a qualifier. Qualifier is a small rectangle attached to the end of association, placing the attributes in the rectangle. For example, as shown in this figure, given an object of work desk and given a particular value for job ID, you can navigate to 0 or 1 objects of returned atom. The source object together with the value of the qualifier's attribute yield a target object or a set of objects. Now, the interface specifier. An interface is a collection of operations that are used to specify a service of a class or a component. Here, the figure shows a relationship between a supervisor and a worker. Figure shows that the type of role using the syntax role name colon iname, where iname is the interface of the classifier. Next is the composition. Simple aggregation only distinguish a whole from a part. Composition is a form of aggregation with strong ownership and coincident lifetime as part of the whole. This means that parts once created will live and die with composite itself. For example, when you create a frame in a windowing system, you must attach it to an enclosing window. Similarly, when window is destroyed, it, it in turn destroys the frame parts. This kind of association is shown by adorning a plain association with filled diamond at the hole end as shown in this figure. Now we'll see the realization. A realization is a semantic relationship between classifiers in which one classifier specifies a contract that another classifier guarantees to carry out. Graphically, a realization is rendered as a dashed directed line with a large open arrowhead pointing to the classifier that specifies the contract. Realization is sufficiently different from dependency, generalization, and association relationship. Most of the time, realization is used to specify the relationship between an interface and the class or component that provides an operation or service for it. An interface is a collection of operations that are used to specify a service or a component. Therefore, an interface specifies a contract that a class or component must carry out. This figure shows a class such as account business rules in an order entry system. In a system design view might realize a given interface such as iRule agent. The same interface iRule agent might also be realized by a component such as AccountRule.dll in the system's implementation view. Realization can be represented in two ways, that is, in the canonical form and in an yielded form. Canonical form means using the interface stereotype and the dashed directed line with a large open arrowhead, and in an yielded form means using the interface lollipop notation. That's the end of this presentation. Thank you.